Two fragrances, men and women, from the house of Valentino. Thanks to the people at FragranceNet, we'll be talking about those today. Stay tuned. Hola, dudes and dudettes. My name is Joshua, and if you haven't already heard, this is your channel and my channel. This is our channel, ScentSense. To the loyal subscribers who continue to watch painstakingly as I release these videos, to you kind folks, I say, thank you so much. And to you new people who are checking out the channel, maybe for the first time, and you're not sure if you want to stick around, or maybe you checked out the channel and you're not too sure, there's no need for a Brexit. Let's calm down and let's talk about fragrances, okay? Again, like I said before, today we'll be talking about the house of Valentino. I was sent two fragrances from the kind folks at FragranceNet to talk about, one for men and one for women. Now this is the point of the video where I wish I had one of those things that you see at the end of a used car video where it talks really fast and it's like MRC, textile and license. But clearly I don't have that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let it out. These fragrances were sent to me for free. Didn't pay for them, didn't have to pay for them. Although I am a loyal customer of FragranceNet and I have spent hundreds of dollars like I'm sure you have, they went ahead and decided to send me these fragrances for free so I could tell you about their website and these fragrances. These thoughts, opinions, feelings, and overall olfactory senses are my own. If you don't like it and they don't like it and Valentino doesn't like it, then sorry about you. So just before I talk about these fragrances, I want to jump into talking about the website FragranceNet.com. FragranceNet.com is a great alternative to the high-priced places such as Macy's, Dillard's, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, the list goes on and on. You can buy quality designer, indie, and some niche fragrances at a much lower price. Most of the time, shipping is free, and with the right coupon code, you can get these fragrances for dirt cheap. You may have to deal with some lengthy shipments. It takes a little while to get them to you, but that's probably because they're super busy. So enough of the infomercial, let's get into the scents, the reason you're here. My parents didn't raise no fool, they also didn't raise a douchebag. So as always, ladies first. The first fragrance we're gonna talk about from the house of Valentino is Valentino Donna. So first things first, let's look at the presentation. It's such a beautiful bottle. It's got these pyramid style cuts into it. It kind of has like this really cool boutique look to it. Kind of feels like it's worth more than it really is. It's got a base of a gold sprayer. The top sprayer head is the exact same shape, slightly smaller. It's got a pretty decent distribution. It's got the gold plaque on the front that says Valentino, and on the bottom it has a sticker. Got a really cool view. I don't know if you can see that through the camera as well as I can, but it's got this really cool trippy look if you look through the bottom. Before I get into how I feel about this fragrance, let's talk about the notes. Starting off with the top notes, there's only one main player, and that is bergamot. In the mid, you're gonna get a little bit of iris and rose. And in the base, you're gonna get that great fall trifecta of vanilla, leather, and patchouli. So what do I get from this fragrance? I get something that I find is super unique for me. Personally, most fragrances that I smell that go on women are either super fruity or super floral or just overly floral and fruity, but there's really no balance to it. There's no added something that holds a fragrance down, usually, in my opinion, from what I've smelled in the designer realm. What this fragrance does really cool is you're gonna get that blast of bergamot at the top. They were 100% right with this being a top note of bergamot. It's gonna be very, very fresh and very, very fruity, and it's gonna be super sweet. The reason for that is in the back, you got that vanilla that's gonna push against that bergamot and give it that sweetness, added sweetness, if you will. In the middle, you get what I like to call the sophisticated lady notes as iris and rose. This isn't that cloying iris or rose that smells like your grandmother's lipstick bag or an old lady wheeling herself into an old folks home. This is a little more sophisticated, a little more elegant, a little more sexy lady in a pencil red dress. As I stated before, in the base, you get that fall trifecta. 3 fragrance notes that I feel is synonymous with fall, and you see a lot of time in fall fragrances: leather, patchouli, and vanilla. Patchouli and vanilla work very, very well together. They counteract with each other, but they also balance each other, and the leather gives it this base of a little more solidity. I think this fragrance would be perfect for a woman who's over the age of 30, who's sure of herself. I think a younger girl could pull this off, but maybe she'd smell like she's trying too hard. Personally, for me, I feel like this smells fantastic on my wife. It really works well on her skin. I personally selected these because both of the bottles look a lot alike each other. I thought it would be pretty cool to have a video with us each having a fragrance that looks alike. So ladies, if you're looking for a great fall fragrance at a great price from a great website, you should go check out from FragranceNet, Valentino's Donna. And now for the main event, a fragrance that looks so beautiful because it reminds me of my New Orleans Saints. Who dat, baby? Who dat? For all you haters and trolls out there and terrible Cowboys fans because your team is trash, I would like to say to you, I'm sorry that you're not us. Because we the best. We them boys. You suck! I'm getting off base, so let's get back on base and let's talk about the fragrance you came here to hear about. From the fragrance house of Valentino, the fragrance is Uomo Noir Absolu. So the reason why I chose this fragrance is fairly simple. Carlos over at Brooklyn Fragrance Lover has ranted and raved about this fragrance. Him and Steven made it sound like this was like pure orgasmic confection. Like this was just thebomb.com. So you know what? I have not smelled it. They do not offer it in any stores close to me. So I said, you know what? Might as well shoot in the dark and see if this one smells good. And if it doesn't, I can say it because FragranceNet said, go for it, bro. But before we get into what this fragrance smells like to me, let's get into the notes. At the top, you're gonna get cinnamon and pepper. In the mid, you're gonna get incense and resinoid. I don't know what that is, so I Googled it. And it says something about resinous vanilla. Yeah, resinoid. Go figure. And rounding out the fragrance with a solid base, there is sandalwood. So what do I get from this fragrance? I get a resinous, dark, super great fragrance for the fall time. Let's go ahead and spray the sucker in the air so we can get a fresh whiff. Oh, I just sprayed the crap out of my light. Out of the opening, this has the same vibe of another really cheap fragrance by Sarah Jessica Parker. It's called Stash. Sebastian over at Looking, Feeling, Smelling Great talked really big on this fragrance. I find that this one smells a little less off. The Sarah Parker Stash has this weird twang to it. It's really an artistic kind of feel to that fragrance. You have to be into fragrance to enjoy that fragrance. You're not going to Macy's and be like, yo bro, wanna smell good bro, what should I wear? And the guy behind the fragrance counter would be like, man, you should really try out Sarah Parker Stash. Sarah Jessica Parker Stash. It's really good. The ladies are gonna love it. They're gonna love it. No one's gonna say that. But does it smell pleasant? Yes. Am I into it? Yes. So now let's come back down to earth. Like I said, what do I think? As I said, I think this opening leans a little close to that SJP Stash fragrance. I find that this one's a little more spicy. I feel like that weird off-putting note that you smell, or that's part of the scent that you smell, is much more subdued in this one, but I get the same vibe, like I said, a Stash. This one is very spicy. The pepper is very, very predominant. The cinnamon plays a back roll to the pepper in the beginning of the fragrance. In the top notes, I find that the pepper is very, very strong and very, very present. After about the 10-15 minute mark, when this is sitting on your skin, the incense start to creep up and give you a little more of that smoky nature, and the resinoid, aka resinous vanilla, adds a much needed sweetness to balance out the sharp, spicy, peppery nature of the cinnamon and the pepper in the top. And of course, like every other fragrance with sandalwood, sandalwood gives you that smooth, creamy, velvety base. That base that pulls everything else down to reality and rounds out the fragrance. So what is my overall opinion of this fragrance? I think this fragrance is fantastic. I do think that this fragrance is something you should wear in colder weather. I think this is meant for late fall or fall in the northern part of the States, maybe in Canada or whatever country you live in if it's colder at this time. This is not something for the faint at heart. This is not something for little boys. This is something for a grown man with a little bit of chest hair. Whether he shaves it or not, the fact that it grows. If you can't grow chest hair, well, then you probably shouldn't wear this. Don't get triggered. It's just a joke. Breathe in the nose, out the mouth. As far as longevity on this one, I don't need to tell you, it's gonna be super strong. It's very, very bold, it's very boisterous, and the longevity on this thing is ridiculous. In the cold weather, this would last you easily 10 to 12 hours on your skin, and it's gonna be very, very present. So don't get happy with the trigger. As you possibly saw earlier, when it comes to the sprayer, do not spray very close and do not spray too many. It has a very, very small projection area of where it sprays. It's very small in nature. It doesn't open up and atomize across an open area. So one spray is enough. Just chill out. Don't keep spraying because it's only covered an area of about this big. It's there. Relax. Overall, would I buy this? Yes, I would. Do I think I'd probably get rid of some other fragrances in my collection and move some out to move this one in? Most definitely. Would I add this if I had a lot of darker, deeper wintertime fragrances or fall time fragrances? No. If you already have that on lock and you have those ones that you're used to in your rotation, just get a decant of this, see how you feel about it, and then if you feel like you want to get a full bottle, jump on the web and pick it up. So representing the black and gold and representing the house of Valentino, the fragrance we spoke about and the fragrance that you should definitely check out is Valentino Uomo Noir Absolu. So side note, it looks like I forgot to tell you about how this one performs. So silly me, this fragrance works really, really well as most fragrances for women that have the note of vanilla and have that added sweetness, those ones that really push out and really last long. My wife said that she wore this to school and that her students were telling her how great she smells. You smell so great, Miss Emily. They're very, very honest and very, very boisterous kids, and to be honest, it's really funny. It makes me laugh. So if they like this, then it's definitely good. She told me it lasted a full work day. I don't know if this is something that would last into the evening. You might have to reapply. So if I had to guess, anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. But nonetheless, both of these really perform well and they're definitely worth their price tags, in my opinion. So have you spent all your fall fragrance budget yet? No? Well, if you haven't, go ahead and go to the kind folks at FragranceNet.com and show them that you care. Actually, you don't have to care. You just have to buy fragrances because that's what we're into. And I'd like you to get it somewhere cheap because that's where I've gone. That's who I've suggested before this video. And I'm not gonna change that just because they gave me free stuff. All right, folks, this is the fun part. Let's get the conversation started. How do you feel about the website FragranceNet? Have you bought from FragranceNet? Have you bought these fragrances? How do you feel about these fragrances? Let's talk about it. Go ahead and leave a comment in the section below and let me know how you feel. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. No pressure, but I think you should. And if you do, and if you haven't, go ahead and smash that notification bell. That way when my videos come out, you aren't wondering, hey, when's this ScentSense guy stuff coming out? You'll be the first to know. And as always, and most importantly, I'll smell each and every one of you later. Peace!